Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. This is Champion 2D Rob back again, and this is going to be part 2 of my Sega Saturn experience. So if you've not seen part 1, guys, please check it out before you watch this video. I basically go into the Sega Saturn, my history with the Sega Saturn, why I didn't have one as a kid and why I just got into one, and of course I showed you the Saturn itself and my initial games that I bought for it. So this is part 2, and this is just going to be all about the games that I picked up for the Saturn and I'm absolutely chuffed with what I got. Honestly, I got very lucky. I'm the type of guy where if I go into something, like, I go in with both feet. I jump in with both feet, guys, and I've picked up some quality stuff here. So yeah, it's going to be awesome, guys. So before I get into the games itself, I do have one accessory that I wanted to pick up for it. Now, when I bought my Saturn, it did come with one control pad, but I wanted to get a second one because I wasn't too sure because I know that a lot of Saturn control pads, the original ones, after a while they tend to get very sort of spongy. So I thought I would just get one of these retrobit ones. So I got this the black one. This is the wide one, so it's not the 2.5 gigahertz one, just a standard wide pad that I wanted to get. And I got to be honest, actually, my original pad that I got with it worked great. I haven't actually been using this one much. I've just been using the original one, but I just wanted to have another pad. I may actually get another one as well. Just have 2 of them, because it's brand new. It works great. It's great. So yeah, I picked that up for the Saturn. Right, guys. So yeah, so I'm going to show you the games now. I'm going to show you what I got in release order. So if you want to check out what were the initial games that I bought for the system, please check out the previous video that I made. So this is going to be the games that I bought after that, and I am going to show you them in the order that I bought them in. Now, it wasn't because I bought these games. I wanted these games in this sort of order. It was just they just sort of arrived. They just sort of appeared at the right time for me to buy them. Whether the price was right or whatever, I'm just sort of biding my time. So anyway, guys, I won't bore you to death anymore. Let's just get straight into the games. So after the initial games that I bought, first game I bought after that was Nights into Dreams. And I'm actually sort of regretting buying this because I'd forgotten that the Japanese version, there was also a release that came with the 3D pad. And I sort of realised that maybe I might get that in the future. So I might have to rebuy this game with the pad itself later on down the line. But I've always liked playing Nights. I think it's a decent little game. I know some people think it's kind of overrated and there's not really much to the game, but I just think visually it's very nice. For me it just screams Sega. And that's kind of why I like it. It's just a lot of charm to it, really. Even if there's probably not much to the gameplay, but I just think it just has a lot of charm, and that's why I wanted to pick it up. Right, next game I got here, and this is also bought because it was kind of cheap as well. But it's a really good port of the arcade game. And admittedly, while I wasn't a fan of Virtua Fighter in the arcades, I have to admit I did quite like Virtua Fighter 2, so had to pick that up as well. And I don't think this one comes with a spine card. No, it doesn't. So not all my games have spine cards. Some of them I just bought in just nice condition, and if the price is right, I'll pick them up. So yeah, that's Virtua Fighter 2. Next game I picked up here, and this is one that I've always just been curious to play. Never played it before, and that is Fighting Vipers. Decent little fighting game, 3D fighting game, and one that very much screams Sega to me. So yeah, picked that up. Did this one come with a spine card? I don't remember. Yes, it does. It does come with a spine cardage, as Con Deloro would say. So chuffed with that. Next game here. Now this game actually did get a Western release, and I was in two minds about whether I should get it for the PlayStation, the PAL copy, but I just thought, you know what, it's a 2D game, let's just get it for the Saturn. Got it for a really good price as well, and that is Pocket Fighter. Really good fighting game, by the way, guys. This game gets overlooked by a lot of people when it comes to Capcom fighters, and I guess it's because it is a much more simplistic game, because all the characters are in a sort of more chibi art style, but it's actually a really fun fighter. I recommend you check this game out, whether it's on the PlayStation. It did get a European release, and you can also play it. It's on the PlayStation 2. It's on the Street Fighter Alpha Anthology collection. It's also on there, so you can give this game a bash. Definitely give it a go, guys. It's beautiful, great 2D artwork. Yeah, really chuffed with this one, and I do believe, yep, spine card. So chuffed with that, and it's in lovely condition as well. I actually got this from a UK seller, lovely condition. Really quite chuffed with that one. Next game I got here, and again, this is one that I had to get because it's again Capcom Fighter, awesome. Marvel superheroes, chuffed to get it. I had it on the PlayStation. I had it as a kid, bought it back in the day on the PlayStation, and I loved it. I thought it was a great port, but this one is much better. Although I will say again, like X-Men Children of the Atom, this one does not utilize the RAM cartridge, so unfortunately it does. Oh no, actually it does utilize the RAM cartridge. No, my mistake. It does. But it's one of those games where it doesn't. There's an option to use the RAM cart, but it's still not perfect. I guess the add-on option for the RAM cartridge was a bit of an afterthought on this one. It does suffer from some slowdown, so it's not a perfect port. But that being said, though, it's a great one to have. So anyway, chuffed to get that. This next one was definitely, I was inspired to get this after playing it at Scott Sega Zombie's house, and this was one of the games that Scott Sega Saturn brought to the house, and absolutely loved it. Now I have played the game before, but I've only played it on the 3DS. It was part of the Sega compilation, that Sega Classics compilation that came out on the 3DS, which by the way everyone should have, and I absolutely loved it on that. But it's nice to play it on the big TV, and that is Powerdrift. Great super scalar racing game. Really fun game. I love this one. And yeah, I do believe, yep, Spine Cottage. Really chuffed to get that. And this is a fantastic game. Yeah, I play this one a lot. Awesome title. So thank you, Scott, for making me spend my money. Alright, next game here. Again, this is another one that was not initially a game that I was looking to get, but I played it over at Scott's house and really enjoyed it, so had to pick it up, and that is Decathlete. And I believe this was released in the West. It's known as Athlete Kings, I believe. So again, thank you, Scott, for telling me about this game. We actually played it as well at Sega Zombie's house, and it does have spine cottage. So yeah, really chuffed, and it's a really fun game. Yeah, I dig this one a lot. It's definitely a good multiplayer game. Right, if I could just get all this stuff together. Right, okay. And the next game I got here, and again, this is one of those games, had to have it, and that is Fighters Megamix. Yeah, really cool game. Just have to get that one. Interesting 3D fighter. Does it have a spine card? Yes, it does. Spine cottage. So yeah, really chuffed. I've always wanted to play the Fighting Vipers games, even back in the day, back in the 90s. I remember seeing Fighters Megamix. I remember seeing the Daytona car. You could actually play the Daytona car as a fighter, so it just looked crazy. Looked like a lot of fun, so I wanted to pick it up. And the final game of this lot, still got plenty more to go, but of this lot, and this is a big one, a big hitter, one I've wanted for ages, and yeah, it was a pricey game as well, and that is Neketsu Oyako, also known as Hot-Blooded Family. And yeah, I've wanted this game for ages. Although I will say, I already own this game on the PlayStation. Yes, I have here the Japanese PlayStation version. So why did I buy this version? Well, I'll tell you why. At the moment, I actually don't have a means of playing this. There was a time where I've got a modded PS2, and at the start it was able to play Japanese PS1 games. And then for whatever reason, it just stopped playing Japanese PS1 games. It still plays like American games, PS2 wise, UK, Japanese games. And it still plays PS1 PAL games, but it just won't play Japanese games. And unfortunately, around the time that it did that, this was already on its way to me. So by the time it showed up, I couldn't do anything with it. But I'm actually kind of glad that I've got it now, because this game is obviously it's gone up as well. I mean, I didn't pay a lot. Although I will say this though, there was a massive difference in price. This Saturn version is much more sought after than the PlayStation version. Although at the time of this video, I just got done watching Sega Lord X's review on this game, and he actually compared both versions, and there's not that much. Well, there are some differences. But you know, they both have their pros and cons. So while he sort of leaned more towards the Saturn version, he wasn't outright dismissive of the PlayStation version, and he actually did say it had some merits as well. So that's cool to know, and I'm glad I actually own both. But in any case, really tough to get this for the Saturn. But unfortunately though, this one has no spine card. Sometimes you just can't get spine cards for them. But I've played it, and I also should point out as well, this was actually one of the games I did play over at Sega Zombie's house, and yeah, I loved it. I think this was on the Satiator that Pete on a retro tip brought, and yeah, it's really colourful, just an excellent little 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's not the best beat 'em up in the world, but I definitely think in terms of the 32-bit era of what did come out, I say this is definitely one of the better ones. It's just a shame it never got a PAL release, or just a Western release in general. Real shame. But yeah, chuffed to get that. Okay, so that is the first lockdown. So I'm just going to move them right here. So after that lot, I picked up this lot. And yeah, again, some real quality here, guys. So really chuffed. So again, this first one here, this was one of the titles that, again, I've always known about this game, but it wasn't really high on my list until I played it at again, Sega Zombies. Listen, his birthday was just like a transformative time for me in my retro gaming life. It really was. I was converted to the Saturn after I left this house. But yeah, so this is one of the games that Sega Saturn Lad had brought, and it's a really fun game, and I'm really chuffed to get it, and that is Last Bronx. And I have to say, guys, this is like fully complete. I mean, this has like it's got like, obviously it's got the manual and stuff, but it also comes with like a load of, I can't really show you, but at least I can. It comes with spine caddage, of course. You've got precautions leaflet, you've got posters, but it also comes with like a sticker set, an unused sticker set, which is really nice, and just other sort of little pamphlets and whatnot. And yeah, posters, everything. It's lovely, fully complete. Really chuffed. Got really lucky with this one. I did order this from Japan, and luckily I didn't have to pay any customs charge, which is nice. But yeah, Last Bronx, recommended. Great 3D fighter. and fully exclusive to the Saturn. So really chuffed to get that one. Okay guys, next one here. This is definitely a big hitter as well. Really chuffed to get this. I had to get this version on the Saturn, and it plays amazing when you've got it with the ram cart. Really fantastic fighter, and that is of course Street Fighter 03. Now I actually did want to buy this with the RAM card pack, but it was literally double the price, and this game was already like very expensive. And it's hard to really sort of justify. You really have to be a hardcore Street Fighter head or just a 2D fighting fan to buy this. But I will say this really is one of the best versions, if not the best version, of Street Fighter Alpha 3 or 03. I believe this actually it came out after the Dreamcast version of Street Fighter Alpha 3. So it was actually a very, very late release on the Saturn, which is why it's so pricey and expensive. Although it has to be said, they say that the only other version of this that's comparable to this version is actually on PSP, and that one actually got like a souped up version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 as well. So it's comparable to this, but of course, playing fighting games on the PSP is not very good, unfortunately. The D-pad and it's not very good, but the game itself is fully loaded. So but yeah, really chuffed to get this one, and of course it does come with the spine card, so chuffed with that. Really happy to get it, and it is like lightning. This game plays like lightning. It's no loading times. It just swift. It moves. Amazing game. Amazing port. Probably hard to justify for some people, because you know Street Fighter Alpha 3 is available in so many other ways, but this is hands down one of the best versions, if not the best port of the game anywhere. That's why it's so pricey. Awesome game. Next one I have here, and this is a game that I'd sort of known about but sort of forgot about, and then as I was sort of doing some research into the library, I was like, yeah, I have to have this. Big fan of the developer, and that is Silhouette Mirage, and this is developed by Treasure, and it is like a 2D platformer, action platformer, run and gun sort of game. And essentially how it works is like your character is sort of like half of two colors, like red and blue, and in order to defeat certain enemies, so think of it like Ikaruga, where some enemies react better if you shoot them with like a blue colored sort of thing, and some react better if you shoot them with red. So you have to keep switching around. It's very fast paced, really cool and quirky 2D action platformer title from Treasure. So yeah, had to get that. And does it come with a spine card? I don't remember. No, yes it does. It does come with a spine card. So yeah, really chuffed with that one as well. I love these it's definitely a very unique and quirky sort of title, as you'd expect from Treasure really. So yeah, chuffed to get that. Next game here. Now I actually didn't know this game came out for the Japanese Saturn. It's expensive in the PAL territories, it's expensive in the American territories, it's expensive in the Japanese territories too, but not as expensive as the Western release. But I'm really chuffed that it is actually available, and it is import friendly as well, and that game is 3 Dirty Dwarfs. So really chuffed to get this game. It's a 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up, but you're actually playing as 3 characters. They're all sort of tethered together, and you can sort of switch between each one. I find the game very difficult though. It's really hard because in the heat of the action, like it's hard to switch between characters. I mean, it's easy to switch between characters, but it's not how I'm used to playing when it comes to a side-scrolling beat 'em up. So it's really just adjusting to being able to switch into each character, because each character has like a different skill. So when you're in the heat of battle, just to sort of switch them out at the right time. It's tricky. It takes some getting used to, but it's a lovely game and it does play great. And yeah, really chuffed to get this one. And I do believe it does have a spine card. Yes, it does. It comes with a spine card. So yeah, really chuffed to get this one actually, because it was a bit of a surprise. I actually didn't know this had a Japanese release. And I just always think it was like one of those European exclusives, or Western exclusives, should I say. But yeah, glad to get that one. And the next one here, now this one is a game I've wanted for ages. I've always wanted to play this game. Now the reason, I'm trying to remember when I first saw this game. I think it was Kent, YouTuber Kent, Riddler on the Roof. I think he had a gameplay of this, and it just looked awesome. It's like a 2D run and gun sort of mech-based action game, shooter, really cool. And that is Wolffang. And I actually got this sealed. It wasn't actually that much more expensive than like a used copy. But I do want to know the funny thing, right? So I actually happen to have the Japanese version of this game as well, and it is also sealed. And that's just coincidental. Like, I wasn't planning to do that. I am going to open this up. I actually just held off from opening this up just so I could show you guys that I actually bought both these games sealed, and it was not intentional. It's just that the prices were right. Although I will say this though, the difference in price at the time that I bought this with this one is about 100 quid. So the Saturn version is 100 quid more than this version. Just putting that out there. Although this game has probably gone up since. And why is this sealed? It's because like Hot Blooded Family, I ordered this around the same time that my PS2 had stopped running Japanese PlayStation games, so I ended up not being able to play it. But I've always wanted to play this game, so I'm really chuffed to finally have it in my collection, the Japanese version, and I will definitely be opening this game. I will now that I've shown it on video, so I can finally get on to playing it. So in case you don't know, this is a run and gun 2D action game. Very cool. So looking forward to playing that. Right, next game here, and again, this is a big one. One that I was on the fence about getting, and the reason why is because I already own it on the PlayStation 3. It was re-released on PlayStation 3. I own it digitally as well, because it was a Japanese exclusive, and I own the physical version on PS3, and I own the digital version on my PS3, which is of course in English. And so I was in two minds about buying this, but part of me was like, no, Rob, get it. You're a big fan of beat 'em ups, and you're a big, obviously, 2D fan. This is like one of the games you just have to have in your collection. It doesn't matter if you've got it in other systems. You have to have the Saturn version. But I also was curious to buy this version because obviously this is not just like the arcade ROM put on CD format. This was built for the Saturn, so it's not going to be like super hard like the Saturn. It's going to be adjusted. The difficulty is going to be adjusted. So anyway, I won't keep you waiting any longer. I picked up the Dungeons and Dragons collection. So this is basically two side-scrolling beat-em-ups. It's Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom and Shadow over Mystara, and this is the 4 megabyte RAM version, and it's in lovely condition, guys. Honestly, this is minty, like really nice. I mean, I'd open it all up and show you, and I'm pretty sure it does have the spine card as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. I think so. Or maybe it didn't have the spine card, could be wrong. But yeah, when I bought this off a UK seller, and I was really chuffed to bits of it. Awesome game, very nice, Nick. Very little shelfware, and I'm very happy with it. Although I will say though, this game does have loading times. It does suffer from some loading times. So it's not perfect, but it's still a lot of fun, and I'm glad to have it. This is definitely one that, for someone like me who is big into their beat 'em ups, I just had to have it. This needed to be in my collection. It may not have been an essential purchase, but it did need to be in my collection. Only do this if you're a fan, if you're a hardcore fan of beat 'em ups like me. That's what I'm saying. But nice one to have. And to cap it all off, I actually bought this at the same time. This also came with Dungeons and Dragons. I just wanted to play this game out, and this is not really super expensive in any way. I mean, it's fairly affordable, but it's in really nice condition. Really chuffed to get it. And that is what's it called? Macross. This is a shooter. It's sort of like part FMV, part the horizontal shooter. And yeah, I'm a big fan of like Robotech and Macross. And this game is the general consensus on this game is that it's a decent game, but it's obviously it's a space shooter, but it's not comparable to like the space shooters that you get on the Saturn. This is not that, but it's in lovely condition, and I do believe, did it come with spine card? I can't see one. Yes, it does. It does come with spine card. I still have the bubble wrap that was in it, but it does have spine card. So yeah, chuffed. It's in lovely condition, really is. So chuffed to get that, if I can close it. I'll sort it out later. Alright guys, we're still not finished. We've still got 2 little lots to go. So just bear with me. Next lot here. Okay, so now this game was actually one of the last games I got, even though it's not the last lot, but it took forever to arrive. I ordered this before Christmas, and it took a long time, but luckily it did show up, and it's in lovely condition, and that is Vampire Hunter. So this is Darkstalkers 2, and again, lovely condition with spine cordage, and yeah, really chuffed, really chuffed. I love this series. I love the Darkstalkers series. I had the first Darkstalkers, the first and third Darkstalkers games on the PlayStation back in the day. Loved them. They weren't perfect, especially the third game has a lot of missing frames of animation on the PlayStation. But this is the sequel. This was actually exclusive to the Saturn, and it did get a Western release. But really chuffed to get this. Yeah, just definitely one I needed to have because I love this series so much. Next one I have here, and this is a game that I knew nothing about at the time, and it was only after I was watching a lot of videos on YouTube, checking out different games for the Saturn, because I'm always like that. If I get involved in the system, like I start to research the library. And I discovered this game, and I completely forgot what it's called now. I'm gonna have to put it down here somewhere for you guys, but it's this game. And so I'll write it down here. But essentially, what this game is, it's like a sort of top-down run and gun shooter. So you're like these 2 little girls, and you're sort of like on rollerblades, and you're sort of like it's not really top down, it's isometric, and but it's like a run and gun sort of game, and I just thought it looked really cool, and I actually managed to get this for a really good price. I bought it off a UK seller, and it even comes with so it is pretty complete. It comes with this I'll show you. This calendar, which is like pristine, like unused, really nice. I was really quite chuffed with that. And let's try and sort this out. So there was no spine card on this one. But it was just like a really cool game. Loved the graphics to it. So I thought I would pick that one up. And yeah, again, very cool game. It's one of those games I've never seen before. So yeah, chuffed with that. Next game here, and this was because I just enjoyed Decathlete. So I bought the sequel, which is Winter Heat. So this is all basically all the winter sports. And it's a lot of fun. I quite dig this one. And it does come with spine card. And yeah, so because I enjoyed that Decathlete so much, I thought I'd pick up Winter Heat as well. So yeah, chuffed with that. And the final game of this lot, and this is a big one. Really chuffed to get this. Like I mentioned before, really big fan of the series, and that is Vampire Savior. So this is Darkstalkers 3. And it is amazing on the Saturn. With the RAM car, it's like no loading times. It just moves lightning quick. It's fantastic. This is virtually arcade perfect. This is up there with X-Men versus Street Fighter. Yeah, just really chuffed, and it's in lovely condition as well. Really chuffed with this one. So happy. Yeah, awesome. Had to get it. Over the moon. Alright guys, we are still not done. We've got one small lot to go. And then that'll be it. So this next one I've got here is a title that I knew nothing about. Again, it was one of those titles that I sort of discovered as I was researching the library. And this is a 2D fighting game. And it's called, well, the English title to it is Sonic Council. And yeah, so it's a 2D one-on-one fighter from Banpresto. And yeah, it's a cool sort of fighting game. I just basically was drawn to it by the 2D visuals, and yeah, it looks really cool to me. So definitely check it out. Sonic Council. I think there's another name to it as well. It's something Sonic Council. It does say Sonic Council here at the bottom. But I've got it in. It came in this protective sleeve, and I think it did come with a spine card. I can't bother to take it out, but yeah, chuffed to get that one. This next one here, again, this game took a while to arrive. So I ordered it before Christmas, but it arrived after Christmas time. Really chuffed to get this, actually. I have the sequel on the Japanese PlayStation 2. I was not familiar with this series until I got that game on the PS2, but this one is awesome as well. Really chuffed to get it, and that is Groove on Fight. So this is another fighting game. This is based on the Titan arcade board, which is basically the Saturn arcade, and it's a really good fighting game, guys. A lot of people talk about, obviously Street Fighter, all the Capcom games, the SNK games, and this is one of those games that generally gets overlooked. I mean, it hasn't been released in the West. This is Power Instinct. I think it's Power Instinct, Groove on Fight, and honestly, like, it is such a beautiful game. It's got great visuals. The music is awesome in this game, like really underrated. It's just so quirky and weird and wonderful stuff that you expect to see from Japan. And yeah, I highly recommend you check out the Power Instinct series. And I had to get the 4MB RAM version of this. You can actually get it as like a standard copy, but I wanted this as well. It's one of the regrets I couldn't get with Street Fighter 03. I did want it like in a big box variant like this with the RAM cart, but it was like twice the price. It was so expensive, so I couldn't really justify it. It was hard to justify as it was, but this one was easy to get. And also, I got very lucky with this one. This one is like lovely. It's in almost immaculate condition. And the funny thing was, the seller that sold me this game, now they had excellent communication and stuff, but they were one of those Japanese sellers that will have pictures of the game but have multiple copies. But fortunately for me, they had the foresight to let me know that they weren't going to send me the one in the picture, they were going to send me a different one, and they showed me some separate pictures, and it just was not in as good condition as the one that I saw. It was like a little bit scuffed up here, it was like it was all pulled up, it didn't look nice, the box wasn't nice looking. And I said to them, no, I said, listen, that's not what I wanted, this is not the picture that I saw, that I was led to believe. So I said, look, if you don't have a nice copy of it, like the one that I saw, then I'm not going to take it, I'll have my money back, please. So they went away for a bit, and then they came back and they said to me, look, we've managed to source another copy. And then they showed me pictures of this one, and they showed me the insides, everything, and it was in a lovely, immaculate condition. And I was chuffed. I was unsure, like 100%, obviously, because, you know, there's pictures. But when it finally arrived and I looked it up, I was ecstatic, really, really happy. I'm glad that I stuck to my principles, and they managed to send it to me in a proper condition copy, because it wasn't, honestly, that the other version was not as it was in the pictures initially. So, but at least they had the foresight to speak to me ahead of time before sending me a crappier condition copy. But either way, guys, definitely check out this game. It's awesome. Okay, just 3 more games to go, guys, and then we're done. So the next game I got here, and this is just one I was curious to check out on the Saturn. It's another one of those super scaler games, and that is Taito Chase HQ plus SDI. Really interesting game. I know some of you guys know of these Chase HQ games. So yeah, had to get that. And no spine card on this one. But yeah, it's a cool one to have. I wasn't as impressed by it, admittedly. I guess I was a bit spoiled by Powerdrift. But it's a fun little game, but probably not worth the going rate for it, to be honest. But you know, nice to have anyway. Next one I have here, and this is Super Puzzle Fighter 2. Again, I was in 2 minds about getting this, or whether I was going to get it on the PAL PlayStation. But it was in nice condition, saw it for a good price. It does have the spine card. Yeah, chuffed to get it. It's a really fun puzzle game. I know a lot of you know of this game because it is available in the West. But yeah, love the art style. Just great little fun game. So chuffed to get that one. And finally, we are here at the end, guys. And this is a really, really cool game. I would say it's a big hitter. Now, this is a sequel to a game that originally came out on the Mega CD. I know some people don't think this game is as good as the Mega CD version, but I was aware of the differences as well before I bought the game. But I wanted to get it because I really love the visuals, and it's still a genre that I do enjoy. And this is, I don't know if this is the proper name to it, but I'll just give you this name so you sort of understand the connection. And that is KO Flying Squadron 2. And this one does come with spine card, so chuffed to get this. And yeah, so this game is basically the sequel to the first one, the Mega CD. The Mega CD version is a horizontal shooter, whereas this game is actually a platform game. It does have shooter sections, but it's not out and out a shooter. So think games like the Cotton series. It's kind of like that sort of that cute 'em up kind of thing. But this one focuses more on platforming. But it's beautiful. It's got great 2D artwork. Just a lot that sort of that 32-bit charm that I just love. And it's a fun game. And I've played through some of it, and I've even played through some of the shooter sections on it. And it's just a lot of fun. A really cool Japanese title, that quirky stuff that you know we got back then. Lovely game. So that's it, guys. That is all the Saturn games I picked up, and I know there's a lot there, guys, but I tell you now, like, from when I got the system, I was just on a non-stop hunt for Saturn games. Like, everything else just went to the side. Like, I stopped buying Switch games, I stopped buying PS4 games. That's actually a bit of a lie, but I just put all my focus on Saturn, and yeah, and there's still games I want to get, but I won't be sort of going so in on it now. I will be taking a few steps back. I'll probably try and go for one game a month, maybe, we'll see. If that, maybe, but there's still a few games that I would still like to get. But yeah, really chuffed with that lot, and yeah, very happy. So thank you very much, guys. That is pretty much the end of what I've got, and I will, of course, in future videos, we'll touch on the Saturn again, no doubt about that.